Hi guys, this is the advisor and welcome back to the channel of upright men and women.
People, this is sometime one not try to make a point, but some people head tough, so tough, that even when you explain it to them still cannot get it. And this could be for several reasons, one or more of several reasons. Maybe the way they were brought up has so twisted their minds and their outlook on life and have acclimatized them to such a low standard of immorality that culturally it is impossible for them to come to terms with what normal people would come to terms with. And I know that I've already overburdened the point, but I still am going to put in this morning based on some comments that I saw yesterday in the comment section of my last video pertaining to that monster Coolie Man. So now I'm going to use an analogy. And this one is quite simple. I have rubbish in my house. And I need to put that rubbish out to the rubbish truck because I don't want no rubbish in my house. I think it's wrong for people to save up rubbish and it is to be discarded, and so I decided to put it out for the rubbish truck. When I put out the rubbish, you pass and see it and you take up the bag of rubbish and your car go put in your house. You keep it there till it starts stink up your house and fly start take over your house. When that happens, instead of blaming yourself for taking up the rubbish and carry it go a your yard, go entertain it, you go and blame me, say it's my fault because me shouldn't put out the rubbish and me wrong to put out the rubbish. Like really? You were the one who think it's so nice to take up rubbish, stinking discarded rubbish and go put in your house. Now I will say nothing more pertaining to the matter of that little 9-year-old and the shortcomings, low bite nature of her dirty mama. Now let me move on. Today I'm going to put on my political analyst hat. I'm going to sound more like a Kevin O'Brien Chang or like a Lloyd B. Smith in the things that I say. And for you, my top 1%, you 400 of my top thinking subscribers who are going to watch to the end, you're going to find this to be one of the most exhilarating videos you have ever watched coming from me. Irrespective of which side of the political fence you are on. First of all, and of course this topic is about Lisa Hanna. Yesterday morning, Lisa Hanna said something, put out a small tweet. And I take it, I personally, me don't know if I saw my mind I play tricks for me, but me think say is in response to the rumors flying around about her returning to the JLP. First, I want you to take a look at that small clip, and then I'll tell you what I have to say. Take a look.
Some people don't just want to push you down, push you out, or push you off. They want to tell you where to fall and how to fall too. Take my advice. Keep your distance and stay far from them.
Okay, now listen it again. No, let's go over this again. Listen.
Some people don't just want to push you down, push you out, or push you off. They want to tell you where to fall and how to fall too. Take my advice. Keep your distance and stay far from them.
Some people just want to push you out, push you down, push you off. Now, which side would we actually have a reason to, or the opportunity to push her out, push her down, and push her off? And what would be that side's motive? And who has she actually been keeping far from lately? To me, this is a tacit and cryptic response to the rumors that she is heading to the JLP. And therein lies maybe her intentions and probably even her motives. Of course, I could be wrong, but that me reading it. But okay, let me put on my Light B. Smith hat now, with a little bit of Kevin O'Brien Chang thrown in. Let us just assume for a moment that Lisa Hanna is actually heading back to the JLP. Of what value would she be to that party? Well, I can tell plain that if she goes back, she would be no tangible asset to the JLP. She was never even a tangible asset to the PNP either anyway. If Lisa had not been dropped in a safe seat, in a PNP safe seat, she could never have fought and won an election. Lisa, a sweet girl, pretty girl, she is totally incapable of the trust and tussle of a real political campaign. Bear in mind that it's a fact that St. Mary has not risen from where it was after all these years with her as MP. Same way she comes to the constituency are the same way she left it. Of course, we have seen her at times out in the field, taking her cameras and doing a little theatrics here and there. But that is just publicity stunt. She is nowhere like an action Ann who go in a East Portland, go fix road after road, a drive all roller and grader. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that action and can handle those heavy equipment and all of that. But you can see the results of East Portland compared to what happens in Southeast St. Ann. Remember that the PNP didn't get Lisa and put there because of they felt she was capable of effective leadership. The PNP was playing one-upmanship. We are going to steal them Miss Jamaica. We are going to take away the ex-wife of one of the top stalwarts in the JLP, and we're going to flee her one safe seat. So basically, that was done for propaganda effect, one-upmanship, and this was not about building Jamaica. And that decision was not in the best interest of the people of Southeast St. Ann. Now, this is not to say that Lisa will not have some effect on the JLP, because she does have skills, she does have some talents, and she does have some value. But her value is mostly for PR. Now, could any of you see Lisa actually pick up a shovel and rake, put on one straw hat and go jump in some mud and go rake up some mud? And if you don't see Lisa do that, trust me, I've never seen a picture of it, but she'll make sure carry cameras. And she do her photo up, then she jump back in her Benz or whatever she want drive, and she gone. She is much more a cosmopolitan girl than one of those bohemic type. And that's naturally her. And I'm not condemning her for that. For example, in contrast, let us take Mrs. Joan Gordon Webley. Last summer, I took this video of Mrs. Joan Gordon Webley, who has been a very good friend of mine and mentor of mine for many years. And this is her in front of the Ward Theatre, a clean and a weed up and a cut grass, bend down upon her knee in the place quietly and silently, doing gardening in public. No fanfare, no cameras. This didn't come in the Gleaner or the Star. And if me never know her or past her and see her, me couldn't tell say I did Mrs. Webley that. Because this is the natural Mrs. Webley. This is normal for her to get her hands dirty and doing the things she loves out of the goodness of her heart, with no cameras, no fanfare, no self-aggrandizement, and so on. Lisa Hanna would never do this. Remember me tell you, and I stand here without contradiction, without fear of contradiction. This is not what Lisa Hanna would have up to. And if she was to go down there and go in a place like this, what do you think should I do? Every gleaner house would have know, and she go down there, she hold the shovel, pose, and then she drop back in her BMW and she gone. No, me know some of you know. Me know some of you. So let me put in my disclaimer from now. Me know some of you overthink. I know I gonna say, alright, she never call in TVG and CVM and so on. But she call in you, cause you say you are a friend. So I still camera, she call in. Even though you are just a little YouTuber. And I say absolutely not. How it happened was just providence. I was on the way to Beckford Street to do this video to show what Beckford Street looked like. And it was while I was on my way there with the camera that I just happened to be passing Ward Theatre. And me glimpsed her and me just decided to stop and go check her out. Then it was off to Beckford Street. And I included this little clip at the start of that Beckford Street video. You can go look on it and I'll lie me I tell. Do I get an amen? But as I said, that doesn't mean she's useless to the JLP, you know. Because everybody have their strengths. Now, I'm going to tell you about Lisa's strengths. Excellent communication skills and next to none in her ability to articulate. Now, she says that she no longer wants to be in representational politics. And I agree. And a fair place that. She not belong there so. So, here's the first asset she would be to the JLP. Her crossing the floor. Or I don't think she should have crossed the floor because, I mean, literally that would mean switching from one side of the house to the other because she's not going back in the house. Because Parliament will be dissolved shortly. So, putting it strictly, when she walks over and go join the other team, the first thing she's going to do is to cramp the PNP. Because, believe me, this is going to have some demoralizing effect on the Rise team. Because I don't even call them the PNP, because to me the PNP exists today only in name. It is really just the Rise movement disguised as the PNP, which the Rise movement had hijacked a few years ago. PNP as we know it, Mike and Mali PNP, don't exist any longer. As I said, it's just the Rise movement masquerading as PNP. Now, this will actually boost the JLP's campaign, and the propaganda effect in this case would be enormous. But after the elections are over, let us say the JLP wins. Of what value would Lisa be to that new administration? To the way me see, the only place to use Lisa is put her in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and not even as a minister, but send her as an ambassador to some country. Yeah, just have Miss World as an ambassador to some country, wherever, and that's it. And she just represent the Jamaican government as an ambassador overseas. A pretty girl, she know how to put on clothes, she good looking, and she would be an excellent representation of Jamaica. Yeah man, that's the best place to put her, and I think Jamaica would benefit enormously from her playing the role as an ambassador to some country somewhere in the world, or to be our representative of at the United Nations or something. You can't lose half a her that way there. But how the PNP had used her in representational politics, as me say, it is obvious she never cut out for that. She can imagine her donning an evening gown and mixing with presidents all over the world, talking about Jamaica's interest. Yeah man, that a way she could have used. And I have an even better idea. If Jamaica has not yet opened an embassy or have an embassy in Burkina Faso, send her over there as Jamaica's ambassador to Burkina Faso. Send her go rub down Ibrahim Traore draw and tell him to give away a place for go mine some gold and bring it back to Jamaica. Come on, Jamaica need gold and Burkina have a whole heap of that. Send her over there. That's a win-win situation for Jamaica. We can't lose. Come on, send her go Burkina Faso. Now, that's my position on the whole thing. Guys, let me know what y'all think. Like, share, leave a comment below, and I look forward to seeing you in my next video.